First part of my question is addressed to Stephanie. Has there been a change in the law since 2007 or so when that last litigation seems to have been settled? Does growth management have been interpreted differently in the way that would make the decisions that were made then revisable? And then the second question that goes along with this is, as each of you defines the need for more housing, is it your belief that we should have housing for everybody who might want to move to Locust?
The local regulations have not changed since 2007, when after that lawsuit with the Friends of San Juan settled, and after the county enacted the ADU regulations, which are pretty darn strict. The fear that was discussed in the court documents was that there would be 2 houses on every property if we kept going the way that we were, because frankly there weren't any restrictions on guest houses and anybody could build a guest house at that time. So that was a founded fear. But they went too far, and even to the point where you have to have, there's a lottery. You have 5 acres and you have the same septic, water and sewer, or septic and water and driveway, and you have agreed to put this house within 100 feet of the house, of your main house, which is not something everybody wants to do if they have renters. You still have to go through the lottery, and there was, I think, only, what, 7 permits issued in this whole past year for people to build guest houses, and there's more people who would like to do it. Does that answer your question?
You think if the changes you suggested were implemented, there would be more litigation?
Let's pass that one off.
No,
okay. Feel free.
I think that we need to get together with the Friends of the San Juans and come up with something palatable that will work, because they all understand that we need to have more housing for people. And that's where we bring the both sides together. That's why Stephanie Buffum, who used to be on the Friends of the San Juans board during that time for years and years, that's why she's on my team. Because we need to work together for the good of all of us, you guys, and my daughter who can't afford a house.
Let me answer your question. I have a slightly different answer. I disagree a little bit. There hasn't been courage in the San Juan County Council to take this issue on. I couldn't get one of my 2 seatmates when I was there to do this exact issue. We need to stand up. We need to do the right thing. And government by government, county, regional, state, and cities are allowing guest houses on properties. So there is definitely momentum for affordable housing to make this change. We just have to have the courage and to tell our prosecuting attorney that we're going to do this and you're going to defend this. So it's something we can do councilmatic and step forward with it. Again, we're going to say if you ever rent this place out, it's got to be affordable. And we can define the affordability up to 115%. But just because you build a house doesn't mean you have to rent it. You may want to have a guest house for your family or a caregiver or whatever it is. And that's another thing we all have to think about. People are trying to age in place here. And if you need assistance, you can't afford to bring someone here to take care of you. And if you can build a smaller house that's legal, we need to start thinking about that. It shouldn't be, the density issue is gone. I think we've done a really good job managing the Growth Management Act, and we really have to start thinking about what we're doing in the future. So I think it's possible. I think we just have to have the courage to do it, and I have that courage to do it.
Paulson, do you feel it's necessary for you to add something to that?
Real quick.
Real quick.
Yeah. Back to the argument of double density. That was the chant of everybody who was on the side of this guest house regulation. There are ways within the code. We have a missing line in our code. It's written in our code and it's blank after it. It's about density transfer credits. It's about moving density around the county into locations where it's more appropriate to have that density. We can use that line of code to put density where it should be allocated, and we can do this through ADUs, and we can offset the argument that says double density, because we won't be changing the overall density of the county at all. We're just reallocating it. And that's going to help to, in that discussion with the Friends of the San Juans as we're negotiating what the legislation is going to look like, that's going to help us bring everybody together on the same team.
I see you in the back there, really quick.
On this density issue, is there any consideration for what I believe is 1 kitchen per 5 acres?
Rough, yeah, well, no.
Oh, thank you.
I'm trying to interpret your question. Attached ADUs are allowed. It's the detachment of the ADU that's the question.
So, one kitchen, so if you have a detached ADU, it can't have a kitchen.
Stephanie, go ahead. You're gonna be able to hit this.
I know.
Through this one.
Okay, there's actually a kitchen policy that was released a few years ago at DCD, because people have been going ahead and building detached bedrooms, and you can't have a kitchen in it, or it is deemed a guest house. That's what-
I like it, yeah, and I like yes or no also.
So that means if you move toward accepting guest houses, then they would have kitchens in.
If the regs are
Yes,
relaxed.
yes.
Yes.
Not a land use